going forever, man. We're doing this.
In the vibrant world of music, iThongo Content Creation Camp shines as a sanctuary for aspiring musicians. It's where I discovered my true calling, surrounded by incredible talent and an atmosphere brimming with creativity. Guided by industry experts and inspired by South Africa's rich cultural tapestry, we embark on a transformative journey where music takes center stage. Within the camp's vibrant walls, we share our stories through lyrics that resonate with the human experience, blending genres, breaking free from boundaries, and also embracing diverse influences. Welcome to the world where music reigns supreme, and together, we create melodies that resonate with the very essence of our souls. Welcome to the incredible journey of the iThongo Content Creation Camp.
Molweni, this is King Joe, the Xhosa trap star, all the way from Port St. John's.
This is L Jack, an R&B singer from iThongo.
So I'm out here at iThongo Music Festival, hosted by Prince Masuku in partnership with MTN and Twizza energy drink. We're here to have fun.
And make music.
Yeah. So we're going to be playing activities, creating content, making music, and hopefully the audience at home enjoys what we're doing.
Just as much as we
Yeah, I think we're going to be live and everything, so people can watch, see what we're doing,
Molweni, igama lam ndingusipho sethu wakwaBhobho. Ndintombi yaseQonce eKing Williamstown, in a small township ekuthiwa iZwelitsha. Ndiyimvumi ke eyenza la mculo kuthiwa yi-Afro pop. But ke ndiye ndacula ndadibana nazo nezinye ii-artists ezenza ke ezinye genres, hip hop, house, you name it. So ndilapha ke namhlanje kwi-iThongo Music Camp ehostwa neyenzwa nguPrince Masuku, sebenzisana ke no-MTN kwakunye ke no-Twizza energy drink. So into ebangela into yobana ngaba ndibe lapha ndize apha kukubana ngaba ndifuna ukuba ze ndikhule emculweni, isakhono sam sikhule, ndifumane some challenges ezenzenza into yobana ngaba iskill sam sikhule. Okwesibini, ndilapha because I want ukuba ndaziwe not only ngabantu abandaziyo basekuhlaleni okanye baseKing Williamstown, but to even reach broader listeners nababukeli. So I'm hoping that after the camp I will have more followers. Abantu abaninzi will follow, will buy, will listen, will stream to my music and follow me as an artist, so that nam ndizokhula and make a living out of yonke lento. And so ndicinga into yobana ngaba into endiza nayo mna apha as an artist is to give abantu okanye ubonisa abantu into yobana ngaba le nto yomculo iqala phi na, yenziwa njani, kuba njani when you start uqala ubhala ingoma and going forward, and enye into as to give my 100% effort and hard work kuyo yonke lento. And I think I will have an impact nam kwezinye i-artists ezilapha, sizofundisana, and I hope and I think you will enjoy ukumamela ilizwi lami, and ningawuthanda nomculo wami. Enye into ke is that ngiyafumaneka ke ku-social media, amakhasi onxibelelwano, Facebook ndinguSiphosethu Gogo. My Facebook page is Siphosethu, which is spelled CPHOCE2 number 2 ekugqibeleni ya. And ndiyafumaneka ku-Instagram ndinguGogo Siphosethu. Ndiyafumaneka ku-TikTok at Siphosethu131. Ndicinga nabana ngaba ndisamile apho, and I hope you enjoy the camp. I hope you enjoy yonke lento enizoyibona. Ndiyabulela kakhulu.
Molweni behlali, I'm with J Cruz lona yabe new Xhosa Trap star from Mount Fred Balap Eastern Cape. Currently I'm from Durban. Yeah. So kuza kwami akuletho bensuka khona eDurban. Yeah. So mna music engiwenzayo I do like the R&B, the futhi trap, yeah, trap, hip hop, but trap, yeah. So into engizele apha like ngifuna enqondayo but ayona nto ngifuna abantu bayive music wami, nokukhulisa music wami lawe, ngigene more fans nabantu lawe bawo music wami senso ike kubo lawe senso beba say the new Xhosa trap style phele ndoni awulikanda. Yeah, enye into futhi I think apha ngizogaina like more skills yabo about music engiwenzayo yabo, because khona abantu abakhoyo apha ezinye artists yabo, so dibanisa lawe ingqondo zethu lawe sikhuphe something solid yabo. So from them ngizogaina nabo surely from me bazogaina. So yeah, intsebenziswana futhi enye into engiyi-expectileyo. Yeah, and yeah, shout out to Mazik fam lawe. Yeah, ngokuthatha leko indawo esikuzo sibeka apha yabo, senze isizozenza phakamise napha ku-Twizza lawe, sinikeza energy drink so that just drop eza bars lawe, sibenela energy and vila lawe kanjani. Shout out to MTN, as you can see lawe banayo takes man we can enziwe yini khithi ukuthi lawe abahlali babone basiphethe intoni ezamaXhosa lawe. Ngozi. Okay, J Cruz uyafumaneka na ku-social media. Ku-Facebook ungabhala nje J Cruz, uzondifumana phayana, and then i-profile yami leyo, and then i-page yami ungabhala nje J Cruz Music, ngawuvela phayana. Ku-Instagram you can just write Kwezi J Cruz. Ukwezi wakho ungawufaka u-H, just Kwezi J Cruz, ngawuvela phayana. Same as ku-Twitter, Kwezi J Cruz, ndiyafumaneka. Enkosi.
Hello everybody, this is El Party lawe ndisuka ikomani lawe apho ndithenda khola khona ndenza yonke into yam khona lawe. Apha bathi ndiseMonti ngoku ngoba ndifunda khona lawe, yonke into yam ndenzela khona ngoku, but then ngoku ndilapha kwiThongo Festival Camp apha ndizothi khona ndicollaborate nezinye artists ezikhoyo, then you see what you can come up with. Apha lawe ndilindile ukufunda lawe kwezinye artists izinto ezizenzayo, indlela ezipheka ngayo i-beats, indlela ezimasersha ngayo i-vocals, ngendlela ezithi zirekhode ngayo lawe xa sezirekhoda over the mic. And now lawe I'm expecting to uba i-artists zifunde from Italian lawe and nezinto zami enzenzayo ngendlela enza ngayo, otherwise we're here for a good time. I want to give a shout out to Prince Masuka lawe for undinika the opportunity yoba ndithi nabe khona kwezi artists zikhethiwe ezimbalwa which is special we were chosen. And yeah, I want to give a shout out to Twizza for sponsoring energy drinks, and I want to give a shout out to Meji Media. Otherwise, the social media, I'm LPowerT on Instagram, LPowerTSA, on Facebook, I'm LPowerT on TikTok, I'm LPowerT on YouTube, and also LPowerT on Twitter. So yes, sir, we can go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Timmy RSA. When I say with Bank 013 representing your Pagamisela West Nalazo Tapamos. Yeah, by name officially Ebuho Ramposi, Jova Besing Shilo, Pumen Pumalang with Bank, but currently reside in Josie, Fosloras. Yeah, that's where I'm based. And I'm here right now, Eastern Cape, came all the way for this iThongo Festival Music Camp, proudly hosted by Prince Masuku. Yes, sir.
Hey, mafethu, ndizazi ngolwazi lomani mina, but in the streets, bandithiya as a rhyme master. I'm from Eastern Cape, King Williamstown, eQolne. Kwikasi apho kuphuma khona utata uSteve Biko, eKingsburg. Yeah, silapha namhlanje ngenaka Prince Masuku. Shout out to him. Shout out to Meji Media, Gap Graphics. Yeah, sise Kids Beach. Namhlanje. Yeah, it's all about iThongo Music Camp. Yeah, sizawufundisana lapha because our collaborator, nezinye artists, so like we got obviously different skills, you know what I mean? So yeah, omnye uzafunda komnye njalo njalo.
Alright, by the way guys, I am an artist, a producer, also an audio engineer. What I can say with you, as I am here, I am looking forward to the activities that's gonna be happening, learning more about each and everyone, getting to socialize with everyone that's around to the point. Like I don't have much to say, in fact. Like all I can say is like I'm looking forward to learn from each and everyone that's in here right now. It's like you wanna bangani and obviously we came for the same thing, but we had different reasons, which like what are we looking up to in here. So yeah, that's all from me.
Sibulele lenkxaso esuka ku MTN na ku Twizza energy drink. Yeah, ku social media, Facebook @RhymeMaster, ku Twitter @RhymeMaster84, and ku IG @RhymeMaster.
On all social media platforms, it's just @TimmyRSA, each and every social media platform, including Google.
Hey, what's up, Mfukeng la, aka Staffa Hancho, all the way from Kempton Park at Johannesburg. Ilabu iThongo Music Camp. Prince Masuku hit me up to come and add the heat because what's a camp without fire? Basically, la into we are not trying to get into the game. We are the game. Yeah, it all. So yeah, let's we'll walk the walk and talk the talk and let the music do the talking. Shout out to MTN, shout out to Twizza, shout out to Meji Media ngama visuals, and shout out to Mazik Fam for kuhlanganisa my socials, Staffa Hancho, nomongathi Tshepo Mfukeng ngiyavela. Facebook, Instagram, ilapho, TikTok, angasikhathi.
On the first day, we didn't do a lot of work. It was basically check-in day. So we were familiarizing ourselves with our surroundings and also getting to know one another. We introduced ourselves to the audience and also expressed what our expectations are from the camp and also what we as artists are going to be offering. We then had our first night session, which wasn't so smooth because, we were still learning each other. Day 2, we woke up and the weather was chilly. I think we were all hoping for better weather conditions because we had our first day of activities and, good weather conditions may have put us at ease. Nonetheless, we had breakfast and then we went for our first day of activities, which is where we met Natasha and Twizza.
Hands up! Hands up! And then we'll shout you guys, let's mix it. The mix it goes as follows.
Guys, our next icebreaker now is called the Lego word routine. At Lego word, we have our own way of rotation. Alright, Tasha? Foot, knee, hip, elbow, shoulder. Did you guys see it? Alright, please choose a partner, and then you start.
We had a few icebreakers and then went outside to start with our activities. Now divided into 2 groups, we played our very first game called Hoop Race.
Hi guys, we are from Lacklewood and we're going to be doing hoop race. We're going to be doing a race best out of 3. Let's hope the team's their best. Okay, on your marks. Alright. Get set. Go. Yes, winners. Go. Shake it off. Yes. There we go. Hey, do one more time.
We played 3 rounds of that, and Group 1, I'm not very proud to say this, but Group 1 won all 3 rounds of Hoop Race. second game we played was Cups. I'm not so sure how many rounds of that we played, but I know that my group won. Group 2 won at Cups. We also reviewed the day and had a nighttime studio session, which is where we exchange ideas, and that is how we were able to come up with really fire music.
Okay, molweni makhaya, nguSiphosethu lona. Silapha at Kids Beach, we iThongo camp, and we are having a lot of fun. So nwabile kumnandi, and we are learning a lot of things. Siyafundisana emculweni and sisherishana neskills. Yeah, and we have a lot of activities esizenzayo apha there, physical, mentally, and you know, ziyasithalenja in very many ways. So yeah, kumnandi kakhulu, and we're enjoying ourselves. We're learning a lot. Yeah, so what I liked today was that there was just one game where we had to hold balloons with our bodies, not ngezandla, and the balloons were full of water, and we had to move stairs and all the stuff. So yeah, like ukusebenzisana nje with all of that, and we're having fun with it, and yeah, that was my highlight of the activities. Yeah, that was nice.
Hey yo, it's your boy Rai Master. Silapha day 2 iThongo music camp. Enjoy ke kusemandi, more especially activities ebezidlalwa. I think it's by 2 or 3 ngemini. They are very interesting kakhulu. Kwenye yazo ndithande le apho nibambe the pieces of pipes, and then yazihlanganisa phakathi funeke kubekho i-marbles. Nimane ndijoyina ke eza pipes komnye but akukangaziwe eza marbles up until kubekho ipheli pha zigaleleke pha. I think laa nto ifundisa i-balance ne-focus yabo, but kuyo yonke loo nto leyo it's all about unity. It's been quite well and bekumandi kakhulu, and yeah, ndiyathemba nosuku olulandelayo up until last day kuzoba ntswimbu.
Sanibona uluya lo wafethu ayiri wafethu ya ngila wafethu kwiThongo camp. Nami ngifikile wafethu angazi ukuthi kufika kanjani, kodwa ya sengithola sengikhona, ngazi ukwenzakalani ukuthi eyenzalayo ya kulezi zinto nje, ngoba sengifikile so far izinto esengizenzile ayizona zimnandi nje. Amabheluni siwadlalile, ngabona nesikhili sokuthi uyakwazi ukuhlala nabantu ongabazi, uhlale nabo uxhumane kahle, ungazi ngisho negama labo ukuthi obani. Lethe kangihleze ngizwa ngabantu ukuthi uyahlala nomuntu ungamazi igama lakhe, nami sengibonile ya Thonga for life bafethu well.
Sebafethu Stafa Hanjo la.
It's your boy El Power T right here.
Sese la iThongo music camp.
You know yakava still masuku la with MTN release sponsorship na Twizza.
Hayi zininzi izinto esizenza apha. Zininzi nezinto esizifunda apha, asumculo nje kuphela. Nami uyabona ndizibuyela pha eGauteng ngumsuthu. Kodwa since ndi apha eEastern Cape sendifunde nesiXhosa. Yeah, they are progress.
Okay, now unyanisile usibali apha zininzi activities esizenzayo apha. We are playing games, we are having fun as a team, we are working as a team, we are producing music, and we are going to learn ezinye izinto lawe esiba ixesha lihamba, and the more ixesha lihamba the more exciting the camp will be. And yeah, I'm still expecting to see myself in the cypher soon. Watch out.
Yeah, so nibheke day 2 lo, and already izinto seziningi asivalela iThongo forever.
Yes, say iThongo forever.
What's up everybody? This is Omakana Zonge. Yeah, this is Tony Swabeg. And we're out here with Thongo Music Festival. And man, it's been like 2 days, and work, man, it's been beautiful. The games that we've been playing have been beautiful.
Yeah, just every single aspect about it is just been amazing. It's been fun, and it's been enlightening, right? Yeah.
And the music that we've been producing, man, it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's matching the energy.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Even the games, right?
Even the game.
You get to be exposed to the type of personality traits that you have.
Yeah.
That you may not accustomed to.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, man. You see, for us producers, it's very convenient for us. You know, to get out.
Yeah. So each and every single time we interact, we get to experience different aspects about different people.
Yeah.
Whether it be personal, whether it be on a professional level, in the studio, or whether it be playing games. You get to be exposed, and it's a beautiful experience.
And I'm looking forward to more games and making more music.
In fact, even looking forward to building relationships outside. Outside. Yeah. Shout out to Thomas Session, Salaba.
Shout out to MTN. Shout out to Twizza.
Yeah, Twizza already. What's up?
Tongo Music Festival forever.
Yo, Molweni Makai. This is King Joe, the close trap star.
This is L Jack. This is day 2 of the iThongo music camp.
Yeah, man. Hey, ndosenzayo ava hectic kakhulu. Sibethe activities, sibethe umculo, team building.
It's been great. The activities are the best part.
Yeah, khona singayenziyo man. Otherwise, thanda spirits overlap day 2. So sisanda iqala lento, but already we're like a family. So depending on the artists I've already worked with before, but like zonke relationships ziyakhula siyafinyelela.
Yeah, and I think my favorite activities are the team building activities. Yeah.
So we're out here trying to build the teams, man. And plan yam yokweba events the artists won't be ihamba grand. Like events zenu phone, keep calling me, text me, I'm out here, man. Otherwise, man, Tongo for life, man.
I ain't no tough fun, baby. Trust me, I have fun, baby, on the daily. She's nasty, stuff I see in the go crazy. I fucking bring the MTN. Go ahead and blame it on MTN. I'll be messing you know, go DTN. Look, I kinda fucking cutting your fingers. Can never let the money come between us. We always touch it, but we never begin us. So blessing my king, we ain't making no sinners. Fucking up, peace on the devil. I hope I make it to heaven. Like fucking you know it's gon' serve them. It's tougher. Stuff I goes in the melody. Stuff I goes in the
What are you guys doing? What I heard? What I see you guys are cooking. What's going on?
Yeah. Right now, there's a record called Hancho, my nigga. And
Hancho?
Yeah.
What up, Joe? What are you doing?
We just recorded something no sipo say to.
Yes. Oh
shit.
Shit. What was supposed to come in the room?
I was supposed to Zamaz. Say shape my engineer, say pega.
Yeah. So what's your name, dog? Where you from?
Tapon Fugeni, aka Staffa Hancho from a Kempton package.
Tango.
Nigga, you in Kempton, huh? Kempton. Are you like 35 minutes away from me?
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh K1. Oh Ziton. Oh, one more to K1. It's just a walk away from Nayai. Like as I was saying. We just recorded no Hancho right now, no way to. So right now he just lays the vest and then we got the hook. Just trying to structure everything. Then after that we just
Yeah. Tony, what up, dog?
Yeah, man, man.
What up, Z?
Yes, sir.
Salam,
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm a teacher. Actually,
Yeah. Twizza gave me all of this energy, got me dropping bars and I swear you gonna remember me. Smoking all these blunts, maybe Mazik, I'm supposed to be always on the grind. Let's get on the cover, John. So I'm calling out the food, just call it a pound closer. Can call it closer now.
Me call it closer.
No. Maybe.
Let's go
Yeah. Twizza gave me all of this energy, got me dropping bars and I swear you gonna remember me. Smoking all these blunts, maybe Mazik, I'm supposed to be always on the grind. I'm on the hustle for my family. In a real like Ali, yeah, I'm busy fighting poverty. On some king state, no capping with some royalty. I got big dreams, I got big things to achieve. Signing big deals, making many meals and get a crib. That's never happened.
Together from then. And like music, all in Zealand, day one. Okay, we can start fresh. So, keep constant distance. Like in here, it's again one. So, it's not for people. So, whenever you feel that, and so you come always up. Okay, sure. Just keep the constant. No matter where you go, you should know that. You don't get a chance, you make a chance. You create yourself a
Make
chance.
a way.
Yeah, you make a way.
Masika lele vese bonza ubetha la 8 bars oqala then ubetha omnye wesibili ubetha oqhubeka sibetha lohlolo
ofuna ushaya
ya masiyenze njalo imali yabo izasokolisa imali isikhathi.
Day 3 at the iThongo content creation camp, and the weather was almost promising. We went to the kitchen and had breakfast, which is actually where we bonded and shared jokes outside of, the studio and making music. It started raining.
Okay, get in line before you get in line.
So I'm going to take left foot, right.
There we go. It's fine, let them go. Don't rush, don't rush.
Yeah, God, I say we have less for the blue one.
Remember,
One last
did you see the steps she did back there? Come on.
You got this.
We played the water balloon game. I don't know what Natasha calls it back, calling the water balloon game, which we as group 2 absolutely crushed. I know it was raining and I couldn't see much, but I absolutely enjoyed that game. And just as we thought we were nice and safe from the cold, we got inside and we had to play a game called a Lava Island, where we had to lie down on tiles.
One person at a time. Isa, you go first. Where's your feedback? Correct. Which way feedback? We don't touch
Lava Island was actually a lesson on teamwork. You know, for a lot of the games, we were divided into 2 groups and competing against each other, but now we had to work as a unit. So it was about learning to put your trust in the people you're working with. When we finished with the day's activities, we were actually given a little homework to do back in our groups.
As long as we ask Marcia now, I can still be good. Hey yo, number 1, get up, fix your crown. Come on, spread some love. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, tap, tap, tap. Hey yo, number 1. Get up, fix your crown. Hey, come on, spread some love. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, tap, tap, tap. Hey yo, number 1. Get up, fix your crown. Hey, come on, spread some love. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, tap, tap, tap. Hey yo, number 1. Get up, fix your crown. Hey, get up, show some love. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, tap, tap.
iThongo crew. Who are we? We are iThongo crew. iThongo, yes. iThongo, iThongo crew. iThongo, iThongo, iThongo crew. So something after that. That's
1 minute. Sina. Ela bakhona phansi webhayini zawezandla. Agezine. Kesiwa nje.
What we can do now, we can and then so after we had a good chorus, then before switch and then it's then says that thing that comes as we bad was it I'm then you got we don't need to force ourselves specific things, no. We can bring in vibe, go see, and as a result, so I'm gonna go on the driver. I'm not just going to for the vehicle. We are. Masakastika ngawi. Bangase banga drive go bekhalela bakuba befuka. Because now is a thing. But when there's only something
Yesu FLKs mfana nini?
Oh, but you see, well, some people about to like use of a man, because I'm hearing notes in my head. Mara, oops, sorry. Excited. Oh, siya makaifa. Oh, sorry for you to please.
Kisa kancane.
Oh, we are iThongo crew. Oh, we are iThongo crew. iThongo crew. iThongo crew.
Sweet and dust.
Yeah,
How sweet and dust.
Then yeah. Kasi tulad na kasi performing. Yeah, bo. Nawasa so tayo, but na kasi performance as you do. So the seventh, yeah. Ay, namtani ba? Namtani. Sigado. So nyonya bukhona xa ubuya khona ujonga i-footage. We are iThongo crew. Who are we?
We finished our homework and then we also had to do a presentation, which was actually one of the main reasons for the camp. We were taught about topics like copyrights in music. If you're an artist watching this right now, pay really close attention to this next part because it could really go a long way.
Ithi kanti wenza i-entertainment law ngaliphusha leyo mculo kavele yadibana
Good morning, guys. Like I said, we're going to start the presentation. My name is Mnyaka. I am the Managing Director of Mnyaka Incorporated. We are a copyrights law firm based in Sandton, and we specialize in music, media, and everything related to entertainment. So I'm going to share my screen, and then we'll start with the presentation. All right, let me just get the slideshow going. All right, so let's get into it. The first slide that I have is just a breakdown of this presentation. And before I start, I just want to congratulate all of you in participating with Mazik firm on this initiative. So our presentation is broken down into 3 aspects. That's copyrights. We'll be looking at copyrights, collecting societies, and the administration process for registering and collecting royalties with these collecting societies. So now, the introduction to copyrights, right? What is a copyright? In South Africa, copyright is seen as the exclusive right to commercially exploit your intellectual property. And it's quite important in the industry because it allows you to earn your royalties and earn income and protect yourself from third-party usage, right? And then we get into the importance of copyrights, right? It's there to incentivize your creativity. Now, the intellectual property system was put in place in order to motivate creatives such as yourself and inventors to come up with these ideas and advance society. And so in order to motivate you, they put in place a mechanism for you to exploit that work for a duration or a specific period of time. This is done to motivate everyone to come up with original works, for instance, and come up with their own trademarks that will separate their businesses from other businesses, and to also come up with works that will last and will motivate people, for instance, in the gym. Now, works that are protected by copyrights. There's various types of works protected by copyrights. We look at the composition, the lyrics, and the sound recordings. We also cover the original works and adaptations. So they have to meet a specific criteria. And that criteria is that it has to have originality. Now, when we look at originality, there's a test. There's a test in the English doctrine called the Sweet of the Bro test. Your originality speaks to whether or not someone in the industry can come up with a similar work or not. So for instance, if you come up with a beat that's known, you can't then go and claim originality over that work because anyone in the industry could have come up with it, right? So there's specific tests and criteria that you need to pass. The rights granted by copyrights. So we look into reproduction. That speaks to physical copies of the recordings or digital distributions of the recordings, right? We also have public performance rights. Those relate to, for instance, if you're at a tavern, the performance of that sound recording at the tavern attracts certain rights, and whoever performs that or plays it at the tavern needs to pay you royalties for that. Then we look at something called an adaptation, right? So an adaptation is when you have this original song or this original copyrighted material, and then you create something that's similar to it, but has its own original copyrights in it. It's derivative, it's derived from the original content. And that's when we speak about adaptation. So now people have to get your permission to use your work, but sort of adapt it into a new piece of or new body of work. And that's what we refer to as adaptations. Now let's look into the duration of a copyright, right? This one is quite important because sometimes you'll come across contracts that say, for instance, the term of this contract will subsist for the lifetime of the copyright. Now, what that basically means, and it will normally say in perpetuity. Now, what that means is that the rights granted to that party will last a lifetime, and normally it says that the term will survive the termination of this contract. And that means that once you've terminated your contract with this publisher or whoever it is, they will still have rights to collect royalties for the lifetime of the copyrights, which is 50 years from the date of death of whoever created the body of work. And then in the instance of sound recordings, it will be 50 years from the publication date, or rather the date of creation if you haven't published it. I also want to touch on publishing. What is publishing? So publishing is when you distribute the work or you make it available to the public. That's when you've published. So if you post your song on any platform, that's considered publishing. Now your work we start counting that 50 years from the date of publication. All right. So now we're looking into copyright infringement. All right. So like we said, copyrights grant you this exclusive right to commercially exploit your work, right? So if anyone else wants to also come in and exploit your commercial work, they'll need written permission or permission from you to use it. And now ordinarily that comes in the form of licensing, or it may be a cession of the copyrights. So when we speak about cession, we're talking about you transferring ownership of the copyright, all right? So that's basically copyright infringement relates to if someone uses your work without being authorized to do it, right? All right, fair dealing. Now, there's a couple of exceptions in copyrights, and some of those exceptions is when, for instance, a YouTuber or a blogger wants to review your music. They are allowed to use certain portions of the music in order to review it or to criticize it, right? But they're not allowed to use the entire clip or the entire song. Then that would constitute a copyright infringement, because then they're technically distributing it on a digital platform. There's also an exception for educational purposes and research. So for instance, a university can want to compare South African indigenous music or South African rap and compare it to America, and they want to use it in their dissertation. So they can take paragraphs from your lyrics and criticize them and review them and give opinions, right? That's for educational purposes. Or they can teach about, let's say, for instance, Xhosa trap. They'll quote certain lyrics that you've written down, and they'll speak about it. So those are some of the exceptions with relation to copyrights. Now, copyright registration. So copyrights in South Africa automatically subsist in the author, right? So if you write lyrics, automatically you're the owner of those copyrights, and you don't necessarily have to register. Registration only comes in if you want to prove ownership. But I think registering with these collecting societies is enough to prove ownership of your intellectual property, right? This also goes with designs. So some of you will design for your CDs and for your music, the artwork that goes into it. You can register those designs with the CIPC, but it's not necessary. The designer automatically has the rights to that design. And I also want to highlight something that's also important. So in intellectual property, we have an agreement called a session agreement. Sorry. So how the session agreement works is that you'd ordinarily commission, or it's called a commission agreement, right? You commission someone to do something for you, whether it be taking a photograph for your album or whatever the case may be. Now, once you pay that person, then those copyrights to that image or to that design automatically then transfer to you, or you then receive the session of those intellectual property rights. So it becomes important for you to complete the element of payment. So if you don't pay the designer, or you don't pay the photographer, then those rights don't cede to you, right? Unless you've put it down in contract and you have some kind of arrangement with them. So it's always important to have these contracts in place and to make sure that you meet all of the obligations in the contract. Because the moment you don't have that, then the photographer comes back and says, look, you've distributed the CD across the country, but you haven't paid for it, and therefore you're infringing on my copyright. So stop with or rather they can interdict you or stop you from distributing it now. Now you've got a dilemma where you have to go to all of the record, or rather all of the stores that you've distributed this on, and you have to change everything. So there's a monetary implication in it as well. And that's why I always advise have an attorney around, or at least if you can't afford an attorney, then, do some research, look into what the law says around some of the arrangements that you get into, right? Then we get into publishing versus recording rights, okay? So when we look at publishing, those are rights that refer to the composition or the song itself. They're usually owned by the songwriter or the composer or the music publisher. Some of you would have signed publishing agreements, so we're referring to that. And those rights are referred to as mechanical rights. They refer to the right to reproduce and distribute the musical composition in the form of recordings, right? And these publishing rights come with performance rights. So now you have the composition of the song and it's performed. You also then have the right to claim for performance rights for performing these compositions publicly. That would include live performances, radio airplay, and public events. Okay. And then we have synchronization rights. Now this is where the money is, right? You need to be aware of this, especially if you get into contracts. The industry standard for synchronization rights is a 50-50 split between your publisher and the artist, right? This refers to your music being synchronized into visual media. So for instance, if there's an advert on TV and it makes use of your music, you're entitled to those synchronization rights, okay? Then we've got print rights, and that basically just refers to the right to print and distribute your lyrics or sheet music. Then we go into recording rights. These are also known as the master rights or the sound recording rights, and they are referred to rights associated with the specific recording. Now, when we talk about recording, we're talking about the sound that's emitted, the actual sound. And I want to speak about ownership because I see a lot of artists they don't really understand that when you record at a specific, studio, whoever owns those equipments or helps you record will have rights to that recorded sound unless you've paid them for it, or unless you have an arrangement that's been reduced to writing so that you can at least prove that, you've had this arrangement. So this is where recording labels come in. Recording labels will fund your recording sessions. They'll pay for the recording sessions, and they then own the master rights. And there's usually some kind of split that's put in place. So you need to be careful of that, especially if you're an independent artist and you're self-publishing and you're doing everything yourself. Make sure that if your friend says, hey, you can come and record, make sure that you put it down in writing that you'll own the master rights. So these recording rights encompass reproduction rights. Those are rights to distribute and to duplicate the sound recording, right? Whether it's on digital platforms or it's physical copies in store. Now these also come with public performance right. That's the right to perform the recorded version of the song, right? Such as through platforms such as radio broadcast or live performances. Digital rights, the right to make the sound recording available through digital streaming services or downloads, for instance. Now, I also want to tip you on something as well. So when a rendition of your song is done, normally the recording, the physical recording of the song or the recording of the song is not played on that rendition, but the composition of the song is used, which is the lyrics, for instance. And so you'd be entitled to that, the publishing rights. But insofar as the recording rights, that won't be something that you'll be able to claim, but you can be able to claim performance rights because they're still performing the compositions, they're performing the lyrics to the song, but they've totally remade it or they've what's it called? They're doing a cover of that particular song. Now we get into collecting societies. So we've got a number of collecting societies that collect royalties from specific entities that make use of your music, whether it is in a tavern or at an airport. You still need to collect royalties for every time that song is performed in public. So now we look at SAMRO. SAMRO is one of the most well-known collecting societies in South Africa. It represents composers, lyricists, and music publishers, and its primary focus is on the collection and distribution of performance royalties. SAMRO licenses the public performance of musical works and distributes the collected royalties to its members and affiliated international societies, right? So public performance, musical works, is what SAMRO collects these royalties from these entities and then distributes it to its members. We'll get into how you can register for SAMRO. It's quite simple. There is a process. We also have the Mechanical Rights Society of South Africa. They administer mechanical rights. Remember, we spoke about mechanical rights, which refers to your publishing rights, right? So mechanical rights refer to the reproduction and distribution of music in various formats such as CDs, digital downloads, and streaming services. MRES collects royalties from music users such as record labels, streaming platforms, and broadcasters and distributes these royalties to the rights holders. That would be the artists, okay? We also have RISA, also known as Recording Industry of South Africa. So it's not strictly a collecting society, but it also collects and distributes certain royalties, those generated from the public performance of the sound recordings. Remember, there's the public performance of the sound recordings, public performance of the mechanical rights, right? Then we've got the Independent Music Performance Rights Association. Now, these specifically focus on independent record labels and self-releasing artists. So independent record labels are your small record labels, other than the major record labels that we know, the big ones, your Sonys, your Universals, etc. All right. So they also collect and distribute for public performance of sound recordings, and they're an alternative to SAMRO. All right. So now we get into the administration process for collecting societies, right? So the first thing that you need to do is determine whether you're eligible to register with them. And some of the criteria is that you need to be a composer or lyricist or music publisher. You need to have some kind of right. And like we had said before, you need to have original music. So you can't take someone else's music and want to go and register it. No, it has to be your original music that has been performed or broadcast publicly. So it must be on some platform out there. Otherwise, if it's not, then you won't collect any royalties. So the second step would be for you to obtain the application forms. You can go on the website, on each of these collecting societies' website, download a version and fill it in, which is the third step. You complete the form and you would then send it back to them. But before sending it back, you need to also have supporting documents. Now, this is particularly important if you're working with other people in your music. So you'll have your split sheets, your music scores, your lyrics, and your contracts as well. If you've got a publisher, have your contract in place in order to prove this. So ordinarily, when you're working with other people, you need to determine to what extent each person contributed towards making this music, right? So I would suggest maybe get an attorney to have a listen to the song and determine who contributed what, because we do follow an English doctrine in South Africa where we look at what the core of the song is. For instance, who did the hook, or what do you call it? Who created the verse, who had the most verses in the song, and which parts would be more commercially viable? Is it the verse, or is it the hook? So you need to determine that, and then you put that in accordance with the splits. Now, it's usually entailed as a percentage. Now, I also want to touch on something that's quite important that I come across quite a lot. Artists don't check their contracts, or they don't see the value in having an attorney in the process when they're making the music and when they're signing these contracts. And then you find that, one of the songs is a hit and it makes maybe R1 million in the country. And the artist wants to now go back to Twitter and say, no, I was robbed in this contract, and I'm not being given what is duly mine. But when you look at the initial steps that were taken, they weren't taken properly. The artist signed a contract, and how a feature artist agreement works is that it works in two ways. So the first way is that you can have a percentage split, which is what we're talking about when we talk about the percentages, where you share the royalties in accordance with your split. And obviously after all the deductions that have been made, if there's any other third parties involved. And then you get your share of the royalties. Then there's also the other side of it. Remember, we spoke about the session agreement where you cede your intellectual property rights. And how that happens is that you get a lump sum, or a specific payment that pays you for whatever you did, whether it's your beat or it's your it's your lyrics, or you put a verse in the song. They pay you a once off, and then then that's it. You're not entitled to claim from the royalties for publishing, that is, or the sound recording, whatever the case may be. So you need to be careful, and sometimes because of the desperation in the industry, you'll agree to getting paid 3,000 rand for your verse in a song, and then that's it, and then some 6 months later you see the songs on TV, it's everywhere, but you're not earning anything from the song. It's because you signed that contract from the get-go, and so you just need to always have advice before you get into these arrangements. So when you're preparing these documents, have everything in place, your contracts, your split sheets, lyrics, anything that can prove ownership. And then the fifth step is for you to pay the application fees. So they vary between the different collecting societies. So you'll have an initial membership fee. It can be annual as well. And so then once you've paid that, you submit your application. It then goes for review, and they have a look at whether you're eligible for joining as a member. And then they'll communicate with you once you've been approved. And then the last step is then obviously you become a member, and they start collecting royalties on your behalf. And they'll present licensing opportunities, and they'll distribute your public performance royalties as well. So that brings us to the end of our presentation. I hope it was enlightening. And I hope to do more of these sessions, just to, and we can get deeper into, contracts now, contract negotiation, right? So there's quite a lot of elements. You need to treat your career as a business, first and foremost. I know it's a passion, and it's very difficult separating a passion between a business. And having the right people in these rooms, especially a lawyer, to negotiate some of these things. So lawyers will look at certain factors when they negotiate on your behalf. Are you someone that has a following on Twitter or a following on Facebook? And is that following convertible into a customer that's willing to pay for your music? How much money have you generated from it, right? So it's like any kind of business. There's projections. How much can we project to make from this artist in the near future? If we pump this amount of money into advertising and PR, how are we going to get a return from this artist, right? So those are some of the things that you go into the room to present when you're, for instance, negotiating a record deal at 360 or publishing deal, whatever the case may be, is that what are you bringing to the table? And if you don't have an active career, you don't have a following, you haven't sold anything, you just have raw talent, and that's all you're bringing to the table, unfortunately, you're not in a good position to negotiate, right? So those are some of the factors. So sometimes don't turn down an opportunity if you don't know where you stand in terms of the negotiating table. But certainly you can do it. And if you have the right people in your corner and the right people around you, you can negotiate good deals for yourself. I would suggest, if it's difficult for a lot of artists to afford a lawyer. So what I would suggest is approach a lawyer, get maybe 100 artists, you contribute towards a retainer fee of where you pay 200 Rand each a month. Then at least you're protected. Whenever there's a deal that comes your way, you'll have a lawyer that will go through the contract for you, and it's a collective effort now. So those are some of the strategies that you can use. So if any of you have any questions, Prince Masuku will share my details with you. I'll also share this presentation that you can have a look at, and all the best with the rest of the program. I hope it certainly benefits all of you. Take care.
It was day 4 at camp, and I think we all felt really good finally waking up to some great weather conditions. The sun was finally out, and I personally felt like no activity could bring me down. And so after breakfast, for our activities, we went to the beach, which I think we were all very excited about because we hadn't gone ever since we'd been there.
They're gonna get out dirty, they're gonna get wet, they're gonna build us a tower, they're gonna do jumping, twisting, spinning. It's just gonna be fun.
Alright, our next activity is called gumboot race. This is where one member of each team is going to wear the gumboots, run towards the water, and then when they reach the end of the water, they leave the boots behind and crawl back. When they get back here, you tag the next person crawls into the water, wears the boots, and runs back. Alright guys, this game is called gumboot race. Okay.
Right, guys, we've come to the end of our beach program today. Okay, is there anybody that want to say something about how it was today? Like, what have you experienced as of today?
For me, it was just never giving up, because there were a lot of times where we were falling behind as group one, and like I was always at the end, so I was just watching, and then when I see them ahead, I'm like, oh, they're gonna win this, no way, and then we don't give up. I just keep motivating each other, and then we win. So I was like, you know, never give up, we got this.
Okay.
Personally, on a personal level, it's just strengthening character, right? So you see, when you find yourself in a situation where it's like you don't see a way out, and then somehow or some way you find a way, that's where your character is actually shown, in that midst of that unknowingness. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's how we were having fun. We're always working and always, our minds are always working, and then when we are here, we're just so relaxed, yabo. So my highlight is that we were having fun. And
mental.
Yes, yeah.
Just have fun.
It speaks.
Moleni babukele makhaya igama lami ndinguSiphosethu, and this is day 3. Yo guys, andidinwe andinxaphe. Natasha was bringing it on, so yeah, bekumandi kodwa. It was fun, it was very physical. Mnake no physical, oil namanzi.
Yeah. Hi. Today was unexpectedly hard. For me personally, it was actually kind of hard in some areas. But mind, like in general, it was actually you get to see yourself in character. You see like how your character is when a challenge is presented. So you know
day 3 yo usikhathazile ngempela ubona ngina energy nje namhlanje alikho lenge singakusho mara yeah saqhubeka siyenze content my activities yonke.
Okay guys, like it's day 3 Sasela Kids Beach, iThongo music camp. Yo guys, I'm tired, cartel. Feel like I could sleep the whole day. Yo, like the activities today were like I was busy, but feel like they think like strength. Most of them, like imagine bearing a person with that whole sand trying to put it all together. It's hard.
Yo,
Yo, that what you know, the one that was hardest, crawling back from that side of the water to the other side. Yo, that's hard.
But day 3, we had some activities that are very challenging, and yeah, it is so nice to be here. Yona challenge be yona activity be challenging kakhulu la way. Yona lena besi roller too. Amanzi la way yabo ubona bakaphakama phana uphakama umhlaba ngathi ujonge kwenye side engalaziyo la way. Otherwise yeah, be sharp yona otherwise.
Yeah, kula micala ndiphuma naleya apho bonikwa i-gumboots, and then you're gonna have to cross lamanzi unxibe eza gumboots pha, and then ubuye nge-leopard crawling. So ibinzima kakhulu yona because ibichana bembona abantu bebuyela ebuntwaneni ngamasana bekhasa la way. So instead of doing a leopard crawl, so
ngenabona nomnye la way yoginya izikali phayana xa la way itshone kakhulu pha kula manzi.
This is L Jack. We are on day 3 at the iThongo music camp.
Yeah, like sitiniwe. Yeah, ndupambili sitiniwe. The activities were amazing. Ingathi ziyazibanzima each day yabo. Sihlala emanzini besiya elwandle man. Besicimba sizofika elwandle sigqubhe nje just yabo. A little swimming, but bafika basenza activities rough.
I don't think I had a favorite activity on China, but I had the worst one. The sand was cold. I couldn't breathe. I really felt claustrophobic there for a bit. And honestly, I don't even remember what Natasha's lesson was with that game. Overall, the camp was a success. We made a lot of nice music, and we all came back with more knowledge about what we're actually doing than when we went in. We shot a lot of nice music videos, and we actually built really good relations. The iThongo content creation camp was a great experience. I think everyone who was there shares that sentiment. On the last day, we closed the whole thing off with an intimate braai. And please, if you notice me wearing Uggs at that braai, do not judge me.
You can take me out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of me. You can take me out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of me. System for life, 54 life, kiss them, 54 life. System